They said miracles don't happen in hip-hop? Well, somebody better call the Vatican, because King Harris just pulled off one that's got even the haters stuttering like Wi-Fi in a thunderstorm. After a brutal jail attack that had the entire internet write reposts faster than TMZ could refresh, this boy scratched that this walking headline just woke up. And not just woke up. He woke up like the season finale twist nobody saw coming. I went from tough love dad mode to full-on emotional meltdown on camera. We're talking tears, trembling voice, the kind of raw reaction that makes even the Kardashians look like stone statues. Social media exploded, fans are screaming God did, while others are whispering publicity stunt or divine plot twist. And the wild part? There's footage. There's leaked audio. There are rumors flying faster than Offset running from drama. Something about this recovery feels bigger, like fate, fame, and family just collided in one jaw-dropping hospital room. So buckle up, because we're diving into how King Harris' so-called miracle moment flipped the internet upside down, shattered his enemies' smug grins, and left T.I. in a puddle of emotions that might just redefine hip-hop fatherhood forever. Let's rewind this circus, because before the miracle, there was madness. King Harris, the prince of controversy and chaos, had been on a collision course with disaster for months. From Instagram rants that looked like deleted scenes from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta to viral clips where he flexed more ego than a Grammy winner on his first red carpet, King was spiraling faster than Blueface's career after a Twitter war. Then came that jail incident, the kind of story that stops the internet mid-scroll. According to early reports, King was allegedly caught up in an altercation behind bars. And not the let's settle this with words kind of altercation. No, we're talking full-blown chaos, sirens blaring, guards scrambling, and rumors of King being rushed to a hospital in critical condition. Social media didn't know whether to pray or post memes. Within hours, hashtags like #pray for King Harris and #TSpeaksOut were trending. Now, here's where it gets darkly poetic. For years, King Harris had been shadowboxing his father's legacy, the pressure of being T.I.'s son, the expectations, the fame, the constant comparisons. Every move he made was dissected, criticized, and numbed into oblivion. When news broke that he was attacked in jail, people didn't just see another celebrity headline. They saw karma, rebellion, and generational pain exploding under fluorescent prison lights. Fans were torn. Half of them were posting, "T.I. failed as a father" threads on X, while the other half were posting, "Y'all bullied that boy." Until this happened. It was social media moral chaos, the kind that makes people feel like philosophers while typing from their mom's couch. Meanwhile, T.I., the self-proclaimed king of the South, was no longer spitting bars. He was breaking down. Reports say Tip dropped everything, canceled appearances, and rushed straight to the hospital. Paparazzi caught him pacing in the parking lot, hoodie up, head down, phone glued to his ear. He wasn't T.I. the rapper anymore. He was Clifford Harris, the terrified dad praying for a miracle in the leaks. Oh, the leaks were cinematic. One clip showed T.I. speaking with what sounded like a nurse, his voice cracking, "He's my boy, man. That's still my son." Another audio snippet allegedly captured Tiny sobbing in the background. Within minutes, TikTok detectives were slowing the clip down, running voice analyzers, and dropping confirmed edits like they were solving the Zodiac case. Then, the fake news flood began. YouTube thumbnails popped up with wild titles like, "King Harris pronounced dead?" and exclusive, "T.I. seen screaming outside EA." Even verified accounts started reporting unverified rumors. It was the perfect storm, a mix of genuine concern, clout-chasing chaos, and digital hysteria. But then, the plot twisted. 40-8 hours later, a blurry hospital photo started circulating. It showed someone, allegedly King, hooked up to machines, motionless but alive. Fans didn't know what to believe. Some said the photo was AI generated. Others swore it came from an insider. The hashtag shifted again. #King still fighting, #stay strong Tip, #miracle loading. The energy online was electric. Everyone from gossip bloggers to pastors had an opinion. And that's when something unexpected happened. T.I. went live. Not on a news network, not through a press release, on Instagram. The man who once rapped about Rubber Band Man, wild as the Taliban, was now standing in front of a hospital window, tears in his eyes, voice trembling. He didn't talk like a celebrity. He talked like a father broken open by life. "Y'all don't understand," he said. "It's different when it's your blood. It's different when it's your child." The clip went viral instantly. Within an hour, it had 5 million views. Celebrities were commenting. Meek Mill dropped a emoji. Boosie typed, "Real fathers cry too." Even 50 Cent, the king of trolling, reposted it with the caption, "Respect." But the internet never sleeps, and sympathy doesn't trend for long. As T.I. cried, others were digging deeper. YouTubers, gossip pages, and self-proclaimed insiders started whispering about the real reason behind the jail altercation. Some claimed it was over a debt. Others said it was about status, King allegedly refusing to back down from another inmate who challenged his celebrity son image. Whatever it was, the truth became irrelevant. The story had become entertainment. Even worse, King's past came back to haunt him. Old clips resurfaced, like that viral video where he told his dad, "I ain't from your hood, I'm from mine." People replayed that line like prophecy, like he'd manifested his downfall. Memes popped up with captions like "When flexing goes wrong." Yet, amidst the mockery and madness, something felt eerie. T.I. kept silent for 2 days straight after the Lev. No updates. No press. Just silence, the kind that makes the world hold its breath. Tiny posted a single broken heart emoji on her story. King's siblings unfollowed random accounts. Fans started making tribute edits with sad piano music and quotes about forgiveness, and then, out of nowhere, rumors of movement. Nurses allegedly said King's fingers twitched. A source claimed he squeezed T.I.'s hand. Screenshots of text messages, "He's responding," began to spread like wildfire. The energy shifted overnight. It wasn't just sadness anymore, it was suspense. The same fans who mourned him were now praying for a comeback story. The same bloggers who dragged his name were suddenly posting "Miracle in progress." It was the perfect setup for redemption, but no one could have predicted how explosive the comeback would be. Because when King Harris finally woke up, it wasn't quiet, humble, or Hollywood scripted. It was raw, chaotic, and so perfectly absurd that it made the Kardashians look like a family therapy commercial. This wasn't just survival. This was resurrection, Atlanta style. And every second of it was about to become internet history. When King Harris finally opened his eyes, the internet did what it does best, lost its collective mind. Within minutes, "He's awake" was trending in all caps across Twitter, TikTok, and every gossip page from Hollywood Unlocked to the Shade Room. It was like watching the resurrection of hip-hop royalty happen in real time, except instead of angels singing, it was fans screaming, influencers fake crying, and bloggers racing to post exclusive updates before anyone else. The hospital room, according to sources, which could mean anyone from a janitor to a cousin's friend's Uber driver, became a battlefield of emotions. T.I. reportedly fell to his knees, clutching his son's hand like a man seeing life after death. One witness claimed he whispered, "God, thank you. I can't lose him yet." Another swore Tiny started speaking in tongues like this was straight out of a Tyler Perry finale. But this wasn't just a family moment. This was content gold. The same influencers who were making rip slideshows 48 hours earlier were now posting #KingStrong merch links. The algorithm couldn't keep up. Clips of T.I.'s emotional reaction were looped, remixed, and memified faster than a Drake dance trend. Fans started calling it the Harris Miracle. Comment sections were overflowing with "God did" emojis, conspiracy threads, and spiritual debates. Half the internet was thanking divine intervention. The other half was convinced it was all a PR stunt orchestrated by T.I. to repair his image after months of public tension with King. And the irony? Both sides went viral. Gossip pages started reposting old interviews, moments when T.I. would say things like, "I raised a man," not a follower, now recontextualized as fatherly wisdom after trauma. Meanwhile, TikTok detectives began analyzing the timeline like this was a true crime documentary. One user posted a theory titled, "The math ain't mathing. How did King Harris recover so fast?" It hit 2 million views in 12 hours. Even celebrities couldn't resist chiming in. Cardi B commented, "This right here is why you never stop praying." Rick Ross dropped a random dove emoji. 21 Savage reposted the news with the caption, "God don't make mistakes." And Boosie, because of course it's Boosie, went live yelling, "They tried to take that boy out, but God said nah." Meanwhile, TMZ released grainy footage of T.I. walking out of the hospital at 3 a.m., visibly emotional, wiping tears with his hoodie sleeve. Fans zoomed in on every pixel like it was the Zapruder film. One blurry frame where T.I. looked upward was captioned 1,000 different ways. Man thanking God. Talking to angels. Reading his comments section. Angels. Reading his comments section. By morning, the story had transformed from tragedy to triumph. Headlines read, "King Harris wakes up, miracle in Atlanta." T.I. seen crying tears of joy as son speaks. From jail to Jesus, King Harris reborn. But as usual, peace in the Harris household doesn't last longer than a trending sound on TikTok. Because while T.I. was basking in relief, the internet was busy cooking up new drama. First, a mysterious clip surfaced, allegedly audio of King mumbling something after waking up. The clip was barely 2 seconds long, but that didn't stop fans from turning it into a prophecy. Some claimed he said, "I saw who set me up." Others swore it sounded like, "I'm not done yet." Conspiracy accounts went nuclear, suggesting the attack was part of a street message or a family warning. One viral comment read, "Somebody tried to silence him, but God rebooted the system." Next came the hospital photos. A nurse allegedly leaked a selfie of King smiling faintly with his dad in the background, hand on his shoulder. The internet melted. It wasn't just a picture, it was symbolism. Father and son, pride and pain, fame and forgiveness. Memes compared it to The Lion King, with T.I. as Mufasa finally hugging Simba. Even CNN briefly mentioned it under entertainment and culture, which made everyone wonder, when did this family become national news again? But there was another side to this miracle that wasn't so pretty. Critics started calling out the PR circus surrounding King's recovery. A viral tweet read, "If this was a normal kid, y'all wouldn't care. Fame makes every tragedy a show." That sparked a massive debate. Some agreed, saying the Harris family turned real pain into spectacle. Others clapped back, arguing that the internet never lets celebrities be human. Then, the memes hit a new level of absurdity. One TikTok edit showed King waking up with the caption, "POV, you realize God gave you a second chance." But Twitter already wrote your obituary. Another used T.I.'s emotional reaction with the caption, "When your Wi-Fi finally reconnects after 3 days." The internet has no chill, even divine recovery becomes meme material. Still, the genuine support outweighed the sarcasm. Churches started referencing King in sermons. Gospel pages posted about the power of prayer. Even DJ Khaled reposted the clip yelling, "Another one, God did." And just like that, King Harris became both a meme and a miracle, a modern-day contradiction that only social media could birth. Meanwhile, T.I. shifted into protective mode. He released a heartfelt statement saying, "This has been the hardest chapter of my life, but I'm grateful for the prayers, the energy, and the love. My son is fighting, and I'm fighting with him." It was the kind of message that silenced even the trolls for about 5 minutes. Then the debates reignited. People began speculating about King's future. Would this change him? Would he finally step away from controversy and embrace humility? Or would he double down and turn this into a comeback story bigger than any mixtape? Fans were split. Some said he's gonna drop the hardest track of his life after this. Others said, nah, he's gonna go live and start beefing again by next week. And that's when a video leaked that broke the internet all over again. It showed King, still in a hospital bed, weak but smiling, FaceTiming a friend. He said, "I'm good, bro. They can't take me out that easy." The clip spread like wildfire. It wasn't the words, it was the attitude. That signature King Harris cockiness was still alive, beating just as strong as his pulse. It was both inspiring and chaotic, the perfect combination to keep his name trending for another week. The internet collectively gasped. One commenter summed it up perfectly. King Harris didn't just survive, he rebranded. Suddenly, every post about him turned into a motivational meme. If King can wake up after that, I can survive Monday. Influencers started tagging him in comeback challenge videos. Fans flooded his DMs, even haters admitted the man had 9 lives. But behind all the hype, there was still tension brewing because while the public saw a miracle, insiders whispered about fallout, family secrets, and the real story behind that hospital door. And what came next would make even this miraculous recovery look like the calm before the storm top, because if King Harris' comeback felt like a movie, the next act was about to turn into a full-blown documentary, one that would make the Harris legacy question whether fame was a blessing or a curse wrapped in designer pain. By the time King Harris was stable, the story had gone from breaking news to full-on cultural phenomenon. This wasn't just a recovery, this was a rebrand from the heavens. Overnight, King went from being the loud kid always arguing with his daddy on live to the miracle child who beat the odds. Fans were calling it divine redemption. Critics were calling it divine marketing. Either way, everyone was talking. Atlanta hadn't seen hype like this since Gucci and Jeezy's Versus. Paparazzi camped outside the hospital like it was the Grammys. News vans, bloggers, influencers, even fake prophets showed up, trying to livestream energy readings. A preacher from South Carolina drove 6 hours claiming he'd seen King in a vision, bathed in holy light and designer chains. You can't make this up. Inside, though, things were quieter. T.I. was reportedly glued to King's side, whispering words of gratitude, apologies, and fatherly pep talks. The same man who once scolded his son for acting grown was now feeding him hospital pudding and telling him to take his time. But cameras still caught glimpses. One clip showed T.I. leaning over and saying, "We got a second chance, son. Don't waste it." That sentence went viral, spliced over sad piano music on TikTok with millions of likes, but the internet, as always, refused to stay wholesome for long. Within days, the hashtags turned messy again. Hashtag hospital hustle started trending after someone claimed the Harris family was monetizing the miracle. A PR insider allegedly leaked that documentary crews were already contacting T.I. for exclusive rights. Others accused them of faking emotions for sympathy streams. Tiny tried to shut the noise down with a soft post, just a picture of King smiling weakly, captioned, "God is faithful." But even that turned into chaos. Half the comments were prayer hands. The other half were drop the documentary link. And King? Well, the man of the hour was back online faster than anyone expected. One evening, fans noticed his Instagram story flicker to life, a black screen with the words, "They tried to take me out. Now I'm awake in more ways than one." Boom, internet explosion, screenshots everywhere. YouTube thumbnails lit up like Christmas. He followed it up the next day with a selfie hospital gown, Force still in his arm, diamond grill flashing. The caption read, "Can't break what's built different." The comments section turned into a digital stadium. Some cheered him on, others rolled their eyes, but everyone clicked. Engagement through the roof. That post alone did numbers higher than some rappers' album launches. Suddenly, King Harris wasn't just T.I.'s son again, he was the storyline, the comeback kid. The prodigal prince of Atlanta. Meanwhile, T.I. went live once more, but this time his tone was different. Gone was the teary father, this was full boss man reborn energy. "I just want y'all to understand something," he said. "This ain't about fame, this ain't about views, this about purpose. My son got another shot and I'm gonna make sure he uses it right." He didn't raise his voice, but it hit like a sermon. Commenters went crazy. T.I. preaching again. Somebody put this on Apple Music. Even non-fans started quoting him like scripture, but in the background, whispers grew louder. People inside the industry claimed the jail incident wasn't random, that it was targeted, that somebody wanted to send a message. And when that rumor hit the blogs, chaos reignited. Suddenly, every gossip outlet from Hollywood Unlocked to Shade Room Teens was dropping inside sources. Some said it was gang-related. Others claimed jealousy, that King had been flaunting money behind bars. One post even suggested he was attacked over a diss comment he made before being locked up. Nobody had proof, but proof doesn't trend. Suspicion does. The Harris family had to play chess now. T.I. quietly beefed up security. Tiny kept the kids offline. But King? He was done hiding. A week after being discharged, he made his first public appearance, rolling out of the hospital in a wheelchair, hoodie up, shades on, chains glimmering. Fans screamed, cameras flashed. Someone yelled, "Welcome back, King," and he flashed a grin that said, "I never left." It was pure cinematic energy, the kind of scene that belongs in a movie trailer, complete with a slow-motion soundtrack. That clip went viral within hours. Every blogger posted it. Every fan reposted it. Even TikTok creators started making edits with captions like, "From pain to power, King Harris comeback era begins." But if this was a redemption arc, it wasn't without tension. The very next day, King went live again and dropped a bombshell. "Everybody got something to say about me," he said, staring into the camera. "But none of y'all was there when I almost died. None of y'all saw what really went down. My own people switched up, but guess what? I'm still here." It was raw, unfiltered, a little bit messy, exactly the way the internet likes it. Clips of that live were chopped, subtitled, and dissected like a crime scene. People started speculating who switched up. Some blamed friends. Others hinted at industry connections. T.I. reportedly called him right after to tell him to chill on the lives. But at that point, it was too late. The fire was lit again. Still, beneath the chaos, something had changed. King's usual cockiness was there, but this time it had a layer of reflection. He wasn't just flexing anymore, he was storytelling. Pain had become part of his brand. And whether fans believed it or not, he had the world's attention. In the following days, fans flooded the family's pages with a strange mix of reverence and curiosity. "God gave y'all a testimony," one commenter wrote. "Make it count." Others were less kind. "Miracle or marketing, either way, y'all won the algorithm." And they weren't wrong. The Harris name was everywhere again, trending on Twitter, plastered across gossip channels, dominating timelines. King's follower count skyrocketed. T.I.'s old music even saw a streaming boost. The tragedy had turned into traction, but in the quiet moments, those close to the family said something deeper was happening. King and T.I. were talking again, really talking. For the first time in years, they were arguing for an audience. They were listening. One insider claimed T.I. told his son, "The world gon' love you or hate you, but don't you let it define you." And maybe that's the real twist here. Beneath the spectacle, beneath the tears and hashtags, this wasn't just about clout. It was about legacy, messy, painful, and perfect legacy. A father learning he can't control his son's path, and a son realizing fame doesn't come with immortality. Still, the internet wasn't ready to let it end quietly. Rumors of an exclusive interview started circulating. A tell-all sit-down with T.I. and King discussing everything from fame to forgiveness. Some said Oprah's people called. Others swore it was already sold to a streaming platform. The buzz was deafening. So now the world waits for the next post, the next clip, the next plot twist in a saga that refuses to die down. Because one thing's certain, King Harris didn't just wake up from a coma. He woke up into legend status. And if there's one thing this family knows, it's how to turn pain into headlines. The comeback of the century wasn't scripted, but it might just be the most cinematic thing hip-hop's ever seen. And there you have it, the comeback story nobody saw coming. From jail bars to hospital prayers to a full-blown resurrection that broke the internet, King Harris just rewrote the definition of impossible. T.I.'s tears. The fans' shock, the rumors, the leaks, it all came together like one chaotic, divine episode of Keeping Up with the Harrises. But let's be real, this saga ain't over. If there's one thing we've learned, it's that in the world of fame, peace lasts about as long as a TikTok trend. One day you're a hashtag miracle, the next day you're back in the algorithm battlefield. And knowing King? He's not about to fade quietly into inspirational quotes and gospel playlists. He's gonna shake things up all over again. So if you've been living for this wild roller coaster, peel their coaster. Now's your moment. Smash that like button like it owes you money. Drop your wildest theory in the comments. Was it divine intervention, karma, or just straight up celebrity chaos? And of course, hit that subscribe button before the next plot twist drops, because trust me, the Harris family doesn't sleep, and neither do their scandals. Turn on those notifications, because around here, the drama never takes a day off. This is where miracles meet mayhem, and every headline comes with a plot twist nobody's ready for. You're tuned into Trend Tattle, where truth checks into therapy. Rumors get the spotlight, and we expose the entertainment world one outrageous story at a time. Stay messy. Stay curious. And remember, in this game, redemption is just another headline waiting to go viral. Trend Tattle signing off, but never offline. Flying.